May I help you, please?
Reverend Chambers.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could answer a question regarding the great harlot, the whore of Revelations that they talk about.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes. I was wondering if you'd happen to have her phone number. It's been a while.
Wait a minute now. What are you asking me? You said, would I talk about it, and do I have her phone number? Are you there? Well, I guess he was playing a joke. I don't know. What is your question beyond that?
Well, it's just that part is boring, actually, to a lot of my students, and they, can't seem to have enough motivation to get beyond that part, so...
I understand that. Why don't you get them to do this? Go over, and here's a good idea, is don't just read in the Old Testament. Read one day in the Old, or part of one day, and then move to the New Testament and go backwards and forth so that you can get those things read because they're important, and we need to read the whole Bible. But we don't want to be tied up with that and spend months with no spiritual food. So get over in the New Testament and let them switch back and forth.
Oh, so you mean there's no harm in actually skipping over a few books?
I didn't say skip them. I said read in the New Testament, read Matthew today, and read Genesis tomorrow. Go back to Matthew the next day and back to Genesis the next day, and just go through the Bible like that. So many chapters in the New and so many chapters in the Old.
Sure. So is Matthew, that's in the New Testament?
That begins the New Testament, yes.
Uh-huh.
Now, you a Bible teacher?
Yes, I am.
You do know that Matthew begins the New Testament?
Matthew does.
Yes.
Okay. Sure, if you say so.
All right, thank you for calling now, my friend. May I help you?
Yeah, this is Erwin, Reverend, and I am beginning to suspect that the church I recently joined is mired in this New Age things that you've been talking about.
Now, give me some of the things you've seen, would you?
Well, the holy laughter began when I was first there, and I didn't know what to make of it. And then they began to have other things, similar to these sort of psychic things that you've been talking about, such as getting infused with the Spirit and then began belching.
Belching?
Yes, which I thought sounded kind of ridiculous, but I said, I didn't. Again, I'm still there. And now recently when they claim to get with the Spirit, they bake cookies.
They do what?
They bake cookies.
Well, now, sir, you either are giving me a joke or you've got a very crazy situation.
And then jumping rope.
Will you call me back after the broadcast? I want to find out some more detail, okay? Give me a call after the broadcast. Very important. Friend, I'm not sure what's happening out there, and I'm a little bit nervous. I will have maybe by next week a machine of delay so that if anybody says a word that they should not, I'll have 10 seconds to pinch it off and eliminate it. And until then, I'm still a little nervous. We've had the police and all helping us. So if I cut somebody off because I'm nervous, you understand that I'm just waiting for my right equipment. You on the line. May I help you, please?
Yes, hi, Brother Chambers.
Hey, my friend.
Hi, my name is Tracy. I listen to you on WSIV in Syracuse.
Hey.
I go to the University of here, and I called because I believe some of these Brownsville and Toronto aspects have infiltrated my own church.
Okay.
Church of the Nazarene up here.
The Church of the Nazarene?
Church of the Nazarene.
That's the first time I've heard of a Church of the Nazarene getting involved. The Methodist, Baptist, many different denominations, but that's a new one for me.
Oh, we have all sorts.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, anyway, this past Sunday, we were treated to this outrageous display. We had to eat one TV dinner after another, mostly Salisbury steaks. And I mean, I like a good Hunger Man as much as the next girl.
Now, well, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about we had to sit there and eat TV dinners. This is our thing.
I mean, for church?
This was the sermon.
Is to eat TV dinner.
We had.
You must be kidding me.
I'm not. I even vomited a couple of times.
I think you're kidding me. Give us a call, 1-800-338-7884. Well, one thing we will have beginning next week. Hey, listen to this, friends. We will have call identification, a new phone system
going in Tuesday, and every person who calls will have their name and number when they call us. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to intimidate our great friends. Of course not. You don't care if we have your phone number. But those who call with craziness, and I guess she must have been crazy. I can't figure anything else out.
You on the air. May I help you, please?
Brother Chambers.
Yes.
Ronald from Charlotte.
Hey, Ronald.
And I'm having trouble. I'm listening to you, interested, but I'm having trouble reconciling this UFO thing that you're talking about with angels and spirituality.
All right, let me ask you this, and let's just talk about it. If Satan fell with a third of the angels, then it makes sense to me that he fell with a hierarchy group of angels as well as a lower servant group of angels, and that Satan's kingdom is extremely organized. He has his angels, he has his lieutenants, he has his sergeants, he has his generals, and they work under him in an organized fashion.
Well, that makes sense as far as that goes, but I watch a lot of the television programs on UFOs and things like that, and it seems to me that UFOs aren't related to a supernatural. They're more sort of a technological sort of emphasis than.
Do you believe that UFOs are real?
Well, I don't know. I just know that I've seen some powerful documentation regarding things such as crop circles. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, I've been reading about it.
Well, because some of the most powerful evidence that I've seen are those mysterious brown tracks that show up in people's underwear, especially mine.
You know, it's amazing to me that I have a character like this. You can tell he has a mental problem. We have those sometimes, and this mental problem is always showing up in this crowd. You understand that? We'll keep a note of that, Ms. Chambers, so we can take care of him. Friends, give us a call at 1-800-338-7884. That's 1-800-338-7884. Now, that man will hear from you. You can believe me that.
I agree with much of what you've been talking about on the different and not so good new versions of the Bible. And I think that we have to be careful about the way this comes through in other forms, such as, let me give you an example. I bought for my family a video at the supermarket, and it was about $13, and it was called The Most Beautiful Story, and it was supposed to be about Jesus, and it was produced by a Japanese company. It was based out of Tokyo in about the year 1991. And in this video, as it seemed to go along fairly normally, but I noticed as my son and I were watching it that later on in the film that Jesus was depicted as being a he had long hair. He was depicted as being very, very feminine.
Wimpy and feminine looking.
Excuse me?
Wimpy and feminine looking.
Well, yeah, and but also very, very attractive, very physically desirable, and my boy, he's about 10, and while watching it, I mean, he was becoming visibly aroused by watching this. And as he watched this figure of Jesus, and in a way, I was beginning to feel sort of myself, sort of drawn and sort of aroused toward him. I mean, my own son, and I just didn't think this was right.
Well, I agree with you, and you're talking about something that is deeply wrong. I don't know what in the world you were watching, but sir, burn that thing, will you, and burn it quickly. Do you get our prophecy paper before I move on? We'd love to send you something to help you.
Sure.
Stay on the line, okay? We'll send you something.
Thank you.
God bless you now. Stay there, Gail. We'll be right back. Gail, are you there?
Yes,
What do you make of that call?
Boy, that was strange.
Are we seeing this kind of thing resulting from this wimpy kind of religion that's growing on a worldwide basis?
Right. Yeah, sensuous having not the spirit is about all I can say to that call.